All right, breaking news here. Jadeveon Clowney going to Seattle. This according to Fox First, other people weighing in now as well. He was clearly unhappy in Houston and holding out. Fired his agent recently, and now apparently is going to be a Seahawk. He will be paired with Ziggy Ansah, who was a former top 10 overall pick by the Lions, who's now up in Seattle. Remember, the Seahawks lost Frank Clark to the Chiefs, so they needed to somehow replace this. He will still be a one-year rental up in Seattle. They can't do a long-term deal. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year. All the details still coming in right now, who the Texans are getting back, but it looks like a third-round pick and 2 players. Still trying to get those players, the names of those guys, and physicals obviously pending. Kenny White is in. So I say Clowney, 1 year up in Seattle, Houston, getting a third-round pick and a couple of players. You say what?
I say start to go get some Seattle futures. This is a major pickup for the Seahawks, maybe the piece they needed. It's going to be a 1-point upgrade to this defense. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, and it could be much more than that. And the reason why that 1 point is so huge, I'm looking at this Seattle team winning 8.5 games this year. They have 5 games that they're kind of right there, pick up 50-50 matchups, that if they can win 1 or maybe 2 of those football games because of Clowney, this team could win 10, maybe 11 football games this year. This is a defense that doesn't blitz. The least amount of blitzes in the NFL, and the one weakness I thought they have was maybe on the defensive end, outside linebacker rush. This is going to boost that part of this team, so it's really more than a 1-point upgrade. I think it could be a 1.5 or almost 2-point upgrade to this defense. He is going to create havoc. It's almost like Khalil Mack when he went to Chicago. Complete upgrade of the defense. This could be a game changer for the Seahawks. Pete Carroll, one of the top 3 in the NFL in knowing talent and how it's going to help his football team. I think he just pulled off a huge steal.
All right, we're getting the details. Looks like Barkevius Mingo, who originally was picked in the top 10 by Cleveland and has kind of bounced around, never really lived up to the billing. Jacob Martin, a third-rounder, going for Clowney. Now, you make your living figuring out kind of the angles, and one of the things is motivation. He's going to be very motivated. He's playing for free agency. He wanted out of Houston. He got out of Houston. The league's all going to be looking at him. You mentioned Khalil Mack. How do you evaluate Clowney, who is motivated? Is that worth, an extra 0.5 point? Is it worth the defense moving up 3 slots? And where is the Seattle defense now? Are they top 10, top 12, top 15, top 5? Where do you have them ranked?
Great question, EK. The motivation, I don't factor that in. I wish that's maybe part of an equation and a model that I continue to build. That's something maybe I'm going to start to look at. You're right, because I do like players in that situation. On the flip side, there kind of is pressure on guys knowing that 1 year and they've got to do it. But if these guys are well prepared and they're that talented, a guy like Clowney, and he's motivated, yeah, he's going to get a couple more sacks this year than he normally would if he was going through the motions every step here or there. You'll see a great player. And you're right. See, when I power rate my players, I do them all individually, but then you're right. I have specific groups on that defense. So I've got the run stop defense, the pass stop defense, and the pass rush defense. He boosts almost all 3 of those categories. As I said, he's 1 point better than what they have now. He's 1.3 points better than the average player. But if he makes each one of those groups even that much better, he could be a 2.5-point player. Those are the biggest I have in my book. Anybody that's that stature is going to make a difference. TJ Yates, for Houston, Yates is going to be a big guy that will impact the line that much. This could be a top 5 defense, EK.
Yeah, I'm updating my fantasy rankings right now. I had the Seahawks as a borderline bad 1, good number 2 in a 12-team league, somewhere between that, 11 and 15 range. I now bump them up because sacks matter. I think Seattle now is that 9th or 10th defense and definitely ownable and startable in all formats in all leagues of, more than 8 teams. Now, let's look at exactly what we're talking about with Pete Carroll, because you've said a few things that I find interesting, want to follow up. You have Pete Carroll as a top 3 coach. What's a coach worth in the NFL? Pete Carroll versus the average NFL coach?
It's not going to be a great difference, but it could be, 1.5, 2 points, even 2.5 points like Belichick. When I'm rating his teams out, I'm always going to give each player a benefit of the doubt, or each position group a benefit of the doubt that they're going to be better than I actually think they're going to be, because these coaches get the most out of their talent, but they know guys that fit their system. They always bring great players in. It's just amazing how you see Belichick, Harbaugh, and Carroll. When they bring a guy in, I know in my book, he's sticking, he's not going anywhere. There's so many other coaches that bring players in and then they're gone a week later. And I knew that guy was not going to even fit the 2-deep depth chart. That's what they're looking for, depth. If you can't fit the 2-deep depth chart, you're not going to make that team. You're not going to hang around long. But Pete Carroll, he's the best when he signs a guy. That guy fits in his deep and maybe even starts.
Excellent work. Thank you so much, Kenny White, the Wizard of Odds, giving us the perspective on Jadeveon Clowney, now a member, or on his way, pending physicals, going to be a member of the Seattle Seahawks.